Aqui, ó. Vamos fazer barulho? Garganta tá aguentando bem aí? Tá aguentando? Estamos com o elenco de A Roda do Tempo, The Wheel of Time!
Muito barulho!
Dónal Finn! Kate Fleetwood! E a Ceara Coveney!
Muito barulho! Well, we want you to be comfortable. Yeah, you three can sit here if you want to. Thank you. I'm gonna ask you to be really comfortable with your backs because of the shadows on your face. Thank you so much.
Guys, welcome here to CCXP.
Hello.
So, how's that experience? How do you like the con so far?
This is crazy. It's so crazy. It's amazing. Thank you for such a warm welcome, Brazil.
Thanks, lads. That was brilliant. Thank you.
I believe that you guys show some footage or maybe some news about the Wheel of Time back in the Thunder Theater.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Incredible. Wow. There's so many people out there, and yeah, it's beautiful to be able to share what we've been working on.
It's wild. Like, thank you for a brilliant reception, lads. In Brazil, you're class. You're savage.
All right. Alice here is a big fan of the Wheel of Time, and I got to catch Wheel of Time a few weeks back, and the series is amazing. We'll talk about Trollocs back a little while. They're really something. What is it like to shoot a series like this and to be part of this fantasy world that is so amazing?
Well, the scale of it is incredible, and I think that when you first walk out on some of the sets, like I remember first walking out into the White Tower, and I just couldn't believe it, and the same in the second season. Some of the sets that you'll see in the second season are just phenomenal, beautiful. And what's so brilliant about the sets and the design in both seasons is the attention to detail from the designers and from the makers, the artisans who make the shoes, who make the jewelry, who make the sets, who make the wigs. So just the attention to detail from the backstage crew is just it brings a tear to my eye sometimes when I see the amount of work that's put in. It's really beautiful.
It just makes our job very, very, very easy then, because so you rock up and all the hard work is done. You don't have to imagine that you're in a dungeon or that you're in a crazy town like Cairn or wherever, you know. It's all the work is done for us then. It makes our job very easy when we've got an incredible bunch of people working behind the scenes. So.
And we're having like a big comeback of the fantasy genre. So how does it feel to be part of this? Like the high fantasy, the big scenarios and everything that we get to see in the Wheel of Time.
It is so exciting. Like, our job is to literally live in a different world for 16 hours of a day. Like, what a gift. And I think anyone wants to be able to live inside Robert Jordan's world. So to be able to do that and wear costumes that are literally out of this world, and it's a really incredible experience, and you really get to get lost in the fantasy genre. It's really exciting.
And of course, the Wheel of Time has got, like a lot of these fantasy shows, they have the massive epic fantasy elements to it and lots of special effects. But what's really beautiful about the Wheel of Time particularly is it's really character-led and it's relationship-led. And actually, some of the most beautiful moments in the first season, in my opinion, are the intimate moments where you really start to unearth the relationships between people, and that's really continued in the second season, where we really dig into those relationships and you get to know the characters on a much more intimate level. And I think what's brilliant about the fantasy genre being so overtly fantastical, obviously, and design-led, the notion of having massive epic stories and allowing your audience to have the power and the intelligence to be able to follow a story through width and breadth and not patronize your audience. And I think that's what fantasy really does. It allows an audience to have some input as well into being able to follow a very long and sprawling narrative arc.
And that, like you said, that there are fantastical and huge things happening within the story, but those scenes that Kate was talking about from the first season, where it's intimate and it's two people speaking to each other, they also kind of excite us as actors and hopefully the audience, because you can kind of see yourself within, you can see the human side of like this journey that people are going on, whether it's good or evil, or the hero's arc or overcoming adversity. Like you can see the humanistic side of the story as well as the fantastical, and I think that's the nice balance that the show strikes as well.
Definitely.
Today's been an amazing day because we almost had a crossover between Robert Jordan and Tolkien here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you meet the cast of Rings of Power?
Yes, they're
backstage?
so lovely.
They're like-
Yeah, we've been hanging out backstage.
If we talk about fantasy, Tolkien, I mean, everyone knows Tolkien, but you have to be a fan of fantasy to listen and to know about Robert Jordan. Did you know about the books before you joined The Wheel of Time?
I didn't, but more people than you think know these books, and you can talk to somebody and they go, I've read all of those books. My daughter's violin teacher was one of them, and he couldn't believe that I got a part in it. It's like, what? I was really, you know the Wheel. And so a lot of people really love these books, and they're very passionate about them, and they're quite, and they change people's lives, I think. People, they're really connected to them emotionally, and like we were all saying, they're not just about the special effects. They're about humanity and people's relationships, and I think that's unusual in a fantasy genre to really dig into that.
Yeah, my mom read all the books, and
Your mum did.
My mom, and she talked to me about the series. Like, you must see the series because the books are amazing and you're going to love. But my mom is a big fan of fantasy. She read all the Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and Wheels of Time. So it's amazing to hear you about your teacher's daughter. Yeah. And I relate with my mom. It's amazing, really.
And I know our showrunner, brilliant Rafe Judkins, has a really emotional connection to the books, doesn't he? His mother introduced him to them, and they bonded over these books. And so he has lots of mothers are very powerfully introducing their children to the Wheel of Time.
My mom is a totally geek. Totally.
I think the cool thing about that as well is that people start reading them at like 10 or 12 or whatever, and then it takes you 5 or 6 years or however long it's going to take you to read these books, but that you kind of grow up with the characters. I know that's like a lot of people's experience, is that they meet them at a young age and they spend X amount of years reading the books, and the characters are growing older with them. So I think that's another reason why people feel such an emotional connection to the stories as well. They can see themselves moving on in their lives as they read the books.
Absolutely, and there's so many characters as well. You have to relate to one of them. So there's a character for everyone in the books, which is just amazing. And I don't think I've ever met anyone who has read the books and didn't absolutely love them, because there's so much to love. And yeah, it's amazing.
And I think it's... Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sometimes when you talk about fantasy, it's mainly about boys fighting, and Wheel of Time is special because the women are real special, and the Aes Sedai, they are amazing.
Yeah.
And
Wow, yes.
yeah.
They're very exciting to play, and I certainly feel as a middle-aged mum, quite a privilege to be so powerful.
I gotcha.
And using the wand power and going, God, this is amazing. And in fact, Rosamund and I, when we were learning how to do the wand power, we were going, well, just middle-aged mum of two. I'm learning to do the wand power. And but yeah, they are so powerful, those women, and they each have different kinds of power. I mean, certainly my character, she sort of manipulates her power in a way that's maybe not healthy. She has a really unhealthy obsession with her power. But and you're right. You know, it's normally about action and boys, and actually, it's about. It works on so many levels, doesn't it? The Wheel of Time. It's Buddhist and it's Taoist and it's Christian and it's so religious and it works on so many levels and the politics are so interesting, and so it's when you get the scripts, you know, and you're unearthing it as an actor and you're trying to sort of mine all the things that you might want to play. It's sort of endless opportunities. It's very a nourishing script to read, and you're always thinking, oh God, there's so many choices as an actor you can make, can't you?
I like that the women have the one power because it takes an awful lot of pressure off us, really. You know, we're never doing the fighting, you know.
And you're actually a new face on the cast this season, and you're playing a character that we already know. So how it was for you to get into this character that has already been built, but you're also going to put your own like twist to it?
Yeah, when I was starting on the job, I kind of thought maybe I could watch some of season 1 and kind of have a look at what's kind of been before. But to be honest, I felt as long as there was a consistency within the voice of the character and the energy of the character, I didn't really mind. And there was reading the books, I think, was the greatest indication as to his kind of energy and spirit, and I think it didn't really matter then, like that I felt like that was the overriding characteristic, no matter who was going to, you know, play Matt. I think there's something kind of quintessentially youthful and humorous, and you know, there's a quote from the books of Robert Jordan, I think it's towards the end, of like, it's the story of a hero who with every breath said that he wasn't a hero, you know. And I think you find quotes like that from the book and you kind of get a great summation of that it's a kind of an everyman story, and that it's nuggets like that kind of help you feed a performance. And yeah, that's I think the key things that helped me kind of step into the role. It was really picking up the energy and the spirit, the kind of the private life of the character through the books. Yeah.
But it's good that you don't have the pressure to be the Dragon Reborn. So, you know,
helpful. Yeah. No spoilers, but yeah, very helpful not to have that hanging over my shoulders.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And Ceara, of course, you are playing Elaine Tracani. You're also a new face in the second season. Did you start practicing your channeling already before shooting? How was that? I mean, is it hard? Is it in the fingers? Is it in the arms?
It's such a process, and we've got an amazing movement director called Scarlett that we work with, and we break down from the books, and you kind of look at where Elaine ends up and who she becomes and what kind of channeler she is, and you go back. And it's like, how do we show the beginnings of this? How even from the first time that we meet her, and she's learning how to harness the one power and how she channels. And you sprinkle these little kind of nuggets of what kind of channeler she becomes. And that's so amazing to work with Scarlett and kind of be like, oh, how is she going to channel? Because everyone channels differently and everyone harnesses the one power in a different way. So to kind of make your own unique spin on your channeling was so fun, the creativity. And also it's like, okay, if I could do magic, how would I do it? And like, what an amazing thing to figure out. Yeah, it's been amazing.
The rest of the cast of Wheel of Time is amazing. I mean, seeing Rosamund Pike acting is such a bliss. She's amazing. And we have a lot of people so talented. Daniel Haney, Zoe Robbins, Madeline Madden. Do you have a favorite person that you work with in the
Hard one. That's hard.
No, it's impossible to say that. No, we can't possibly say that. because there isn't one. You can spend a lot of time with somebody in a period for a few weeks, and you get to hang with that person. And then what's so great about the show is that you'll then be with this group of people, but it really is a company of actors. I believe it is, and we spend a lot of free time together when we're filming in Prague. Karaoke, or we do lots of singing, don't we?
Yeah.
We're always singing.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to work with everyone. There's no one everyone is incredible, and that's what's so amazing about the show is that you're
and
just
international.
inspired.
It's a very international cast, so we have people from all over the globe, and that everyone brings their own bit of uniqueness and charisma.
No, absolutely. And you're just inspired left, right and centre. But what I love is playing with the different character dynamics and kind of maybe you really get on with someone in real life, but the fun of being able to be on set and bicker and that's so lovely and yeah, it's amazing to work with everyone.
And because there's so many, storylines that are going in so many different directions that sometimes you can be really close to another member of the cast and you don't work with them for ages, and then it gets to watching their scenes and it's like they're in a completely different story, like you get to kind of see this whole piece when it comes together, but you're only a kind of a cog in it as it's happening, and yeah, that's another great part of it as well.
But I think we must also say that I don't think it would happen. I don't think we'd be as happy a company, and I don't think it would work so well if we didn't have such a brilliant leader in Rosamund. I mean, I think to a man, we all absolutely adore her, and she's an incredible leader of our company of actors, and she's really, for a movie star to commit that amount of time on a show is quite unusual, and I think, she's relocated, and she looks after us as a company of actors, and she really is genuinely our leader. So we're always massively grateful to her, and I think we all adore her. And she's amazing.
Well, we are grateful to have you here because this has been amazing. The series is amazing, and I hope you had a good time here at the panel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Obrigado.
Dónal, Kate, and Ceara.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Eu falei pra Ceara que ela é ainda mais bonita pessoalmente do que na televisão, sabe?
Ela é lindíssima. Vocês querem que eu fique desse lado ou vou pro lado de lá agora? Ou
aproveitar essa onda aqui de palmas e essa onda de gente maravilhosa aqui.
Muitas palmas.
Uma salva de palmas, vamos se despedir aqui da Alice e da Bia também.